Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast with your host, Miss D. If you are ready to start your own podcast or rebrand and relaunch your current podcast, this is the time. Go to my show description, Idea to Launch Academy. That is how I'm here. It is a self-paced course and you can do this within 30 days. So just go to my show description, click that link. You will not be disappointed. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another week of yours truly, Misty, here on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. It's been eventful, lots of events going on in the world today. So this episode is going to be eventful too. And I have a pretty awesome guest here with me.
What's up?
Oh, you heard her voice? This is what I love about her. She has it. And here we are. Could you introduce yourself? Because I love how you do it. So just
hit it. My name is Imani Blair. I am the host of Lick the Rapper podcast. I am also an artist. I also do music. And that's who I am. That's what I bring to the table. Ain't nothing special.
It's very special to me, guys. It's very special to me. Let me say this, and I've told you that very transparently. I was like, no, I gotta have her on the show. First of all, I admire her absolutely with all her hustle, because at your age, I'm gonna say it, I was already a mama, divorced, and you are doing it the way you are, and it's admirable. You motivate people like me. I'm much older than you when you think about it, because when you check off like surveys and shit, I'm on the other range. We're not in the same range.
Shut up, Daisy, shut up. Not when you check off the survey. It's like, no, I feel like 25 and 35 are in the same thing though. Because honestly, when I turned, yes, I feel like it's 18 to 24, and then it's like 25 to like 35. You know, like on surveys type of things.
All right, so she's right. I'm wrong. I lied. She's right. We are in the same range. We're in the same bubble. I
think so.
But for me, I one of the things that let me just throw this shit out right there. One of the things I struggled with, even in my career, but like in life in general, when you are a young woman that is very mature, and I see that in you, a lot of the older crowd is like, oh, she don't know nothing, she's young, and they downplay you a little bit when you're very mature for yourself. And so I try not to be that way with others. You know what I mean?
Right.
I could be inspired by someone who's younger than you, doing all of this.
And I'm inspired. Actually, I just want to give a shout out. It's a girl named Young Baby Tate. She's an independent artist like myself. Yes. Have you heard of her?
Yes,
and she's younger than me. Young Baby Tate, I think she just turned like 22, and she just got a song on Insecure, which is the biggest show out right now. So it's like that inspires me, and she's younger. So age is a construct. Age is not real. And I feel like a lot of us get older, and like I used to get older and I felt depressed because I'm like, dang, I haven't done this yet, and I'm getting older and I'm not. But that's unfair that we do that to ourselves, because if I don't make it until I'm 40, guess what? I still made it.
You still made it.
You still won. If you don't make it until you're 50, you still won. Ugh. You still won.
Imani's like touching my soul right now.
Because Daisy, it's so true. We have to stop putting that, because that's self-depression. Yeah, we're doing that to ourselves. That's not good. That's not good. It's
you're
not
right.
fair.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think even in the times we're in right now, it's important to know that. It's important to remember that. We make each day count. Sure, we're blessed to see another day. But what's the rush? Why are we skipping from one Monday to another? Why can't we not live out every single day to the max and make each one count? I get it. The times are intense. I get it. We got to think about a lot of things. I've been reflecting a lot, but I don't regret anything, man. I love every single part of my story till this day. And I'm still looking at everything that we're going through today. And there's still something positive to reflect on. There's still something to look at and say, nah, this is still worth it. No, you know what? This was still beautiful. There's still something great here to look at. And keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing.
Absolutely. That's all we can do. And people are like, you always talking about your ancestors, but I just believe in like what my ancestors had to go through. It should be criminal for me to complain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't even have to say the type of opportunities, the type of lifestyle that I live compared to what my ancestors. Come on. Like,
you're right.
We can't complain.
Y'all, if y'all don't follow her already, y'all have to. First of all, I'm in my living room and I'm looking out to everybody. Nobody's here. Just my chairs are lined up, my TV's on.
Right.
But I'm like, people gotta listen because you just never know who has that one message you need.
Thank you.
To get to you. And that's something that from day one I felt from you in meeting you. And I definitely want to, include that in our introduction here as to how I met Imani and how there was, some form of I've been using the word loosely, but I love it because I feel it's so heavy. This I call them the virtual sisters that I found in life, and I call it virtual because for one, that's exactly how we met, virtually through Instagram, through Idea to Launch Academy, which is the academy we both took with our, I call her the Coach Carla.
Yeah, that's our coach.
Yes, and that's how we both been able to come on a platform to share our voices and to share our messages to the extent that we need to, we want to, we're allowed to, because we can, because it's our pods, and that's it.
Who's gonna check us? But
Nobody.
I'm just so grateful to have met you guys because people who don't do this type of stuff, they don't understand. And so I have, friends and people in my life who don't do music, who don't podcast, who aren't creatives. And so sometimes you just feel super misunderstood, or sometimes you feel super like nobody supports me. It's not that they don't support you. It's just they really don't even understand what support even looks like or means. So that's something I'm glad that I have people like y'all who gets it. Who, we can have little, even if it's small little conversations, it helps.
Yeah, it feels very supportive. It does.
Yeah.
I feel the support, and I'm ever so grateful for that. Imani is definitely someone who has supported me, y'all, because one night I almost had a meltdown and she came to the rescue. Do you remember that?
Did I even help you during that time?
You did.
Tried. Okay.
You did. No, you did. And it was a very, Jesus, it's like Imani had a cape on her that night.
Oh,
because she came to my rescue.
Okay, but Daisy, the issues you were having, I had just gone through that. That's what's so good to have people who do what you do. Yeah. Because the issue you ran into, I had just spent hours running into it. So I'm like, let me help you. And like Audacity was giving me a hard time, so I had to figure out GarageBand. So
I was freaking out with that. I was like, oh my God, what did I do something wrong?
It's almost like when you download it once, you can't delete it and download it again. Yeah. I know that was the issue I had. I don't know if that was your issue, but like once
Yeah, so that was my issue. But then also I realized I could keep it and still make it work in certain aspects of it. So I've been able to still use it. So for those who don't know, on this journey of launching a podcast, the way we did it, and again, thanks to the mentorship that we received from Carla, we're able to do it straight from home. We're able to do it with our own equipment. We've been empowered in that way without the necessity, especially during this quote-unquote lockdown we're experiencing, whichever state we're in, because Imani and I are in 2 different states actually. So we're able to even do things virtually like this because we have been given the education on how to do this on our own and learn these systems. But there was a little bit of a glitch with one system that we learned, and so we had to put our thinking caps on and find a solution. And it turned out the night that I was having a meltdown, Imani had just gone through it, and she was able to help me. And that's what's beautiful about this. I'm going to call it a community because we're able to support each other. We're able to turn to each other to find out what each one of us has been able to do, because we take this shit very seriously. These are our babies. These are things we're actually pursuing for a purpose. And I wanted to ask you that as someone who, in my opinion, very successful with your music.
Thank you.
I enjoy it. Absolutely. First of all, like, you just, when you pop the lipstick on, I'm like, oh shit, she's going to give us something right now. And I'm like,
the only time, that's so funny that you said that, because the only time I wear makeup is if I'm rapping.
You see?
I don't wear makeup in my regular life. Daisy has seen me a million times. I don't. I can wear a hoodie every single day. I'm so glad I have my own now, so I can just wear that every day. So if y'all do see me dressed up, know that it's for something. I'm doing music. I don't look like that.
As soon as I see that lipstick on, I'm like, sound on. I'm going to listen to this. She got something to say.
Thank you, Daisy.
For me, I'm like, yes. But how is it that you went from this inspiration with your music to now find the inspiration with the podcast? Like, what is it that took you there?
Okay, well, I've always wanted to do radio. Like, I don't know if you remember Ludacris used to be on the radio and play his music. This was like years and years ago. And I always remember that. So I was like, that's going to be me. I was like, I'm going to be on the radio. I'm going to play my music, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like reaching out to all the radio stations just to be an intern. Like, I just knew like if I got in the radio station, I could do it. But I always got turned down. It's either I never had enough experience or they wanted people who were communications majors. And I went to school for audio. It wasn't communications, you know? So like it just never happened. And so I just started getting into podcasts like Horrible Decisions, Brilliant Idiots, and so after a while, I was like, wow, like that seems like something I could do. So, you know, now I was studying up on it. So I was going just through a rabbit hole of how to start a podcast, and I couldn't really figure it out, how to like really just be successful at it. So I saw Carla had did her first intensive. And I remember I had just missed it, so I was just hitting her up, like, are you coming back? Are you coming back? And when she did the second one, I was the first person to sign up. Because I was so ready. Like, I had money saved. Like, I was ready. I just wanted to do it the right way, you know? Yeah. And so here I am, and now I love podcasting so much. I'm not gonna say I love it more than music, because music is just something that I can't even explain.
Right.
But podcasting is way less stress. It's more fun. It more feels like a hobby, even though it's a lot of work. It feels more fun and stress free than music. Music is just a whole nother ball game. You know?
Yeah. One of which I just like to listen, and I don't ever wish to start singing, because I was only part of the choir one semester in high school. I didn't do too bad, but it's just not for me. It's just not.
It's a lot.
And it's so funny. See, this is why I tell you this. So another thing I believe in, guys. I believe in a whole vibe. I believe when people just click. I love that Imani just said she wanted to do radio and she wasn't a communications major, because how many years ago, pre becoming a mother, I was a communications major. That's my BA, and I wanted to do a second internship in radio because that's what I wanted to do.
Oh wow!
I did one internship in radio and then one in media planning and buying. And when it was time to graduate and to accept an offer, and I saw how much they were offering me, that's when I became a single mother. And it was like, this is not going to pay the bills.
You couldn't do
it. It's just going to be me and him. You know, I was going to get a divorce. I got married very young, y'all. If I haven't said it enough, don't do it to yourself. Don't.
You and Carla have that in common. That's super interesting.
Yeah. And
how old were you when you got married?
I was 20. I was 20.
Wow.
And officially divorced by 24. But I was separated by the time I was graduating, which was 22. And
wow.
Yeah. And I have been with him for some time. For some time. You know, my son's father, like, girl, we're talking church, wedding, white dress, the whole nine.
Wow.
But you know what it is? It's like, sometimes when you do things just too quick and you don't really think about it, you know, you do it because it's what makes sense. You know, because what are people going to say? You know, that was also a thing, like, oh my God, you living with him now. What are people going to say? You have to get married.
That's literally my life right now.
Oh, yeah, Imani. I went through it. And I want to be fair to my son's father. It's something that later in years we were able to really talk about and really look at how we both made a lot of mistakes. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, 20 is a baby. 21 is a baby. Like, those ages are so young. You know, I mean, so young.
You don't know.
You don't know anything.
Nothing at all. You think you do.
Yeah.
You think you do. You have a job. You paying bills. Okay, cool, no problem. But that just because you turn 18 doesn't automatically make you an adult.
I'm 25, and I feel like this is the first year that I've started to kind of get things in order. And I say started. Like, I'm still struggling. Like, adulting has been really devastating for me. I'm not going to lie to you. This is something nobody could prepare you for. Adulting is devastating. There's no other way to say it.
And it's never perfect. It's never perfect.
No, so I couldn't imagine adding a husband and a baby onto that mix. You don't even know who you are. I'm struggling with myself. That's a lot.
And it's funny you say that because this is raw talk, guys. So ready? After the divorce, you emotional, right? You go through so much mentally as a woman, as a mother. You went from being a girlfriend to a wife to now an ex-wife. I made a commitment to myself. I was celibate for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
2 years just to figure it all out, right?
That takes strength, though.
Oh, it was, strength. But it was also, girl, it was strength. But that's when I started to get to know myself. That's when I started to realize, just like you said, at 25, I'm now feeling like, okay. Oh my
God. And then something like the corona comes and knocks you off the wagon. That's the thing about adulting is the hits. As soon as you think that you have shit straight, your car breaks down. Or like, as soon as you got some money saved up.
Oh, damn. I just
oh, shit. My refrigerator broke. It's always, that's what I can't stand. So my dad is like, Imani, it's never going to get easier. He said, but you'll be more prepared for it. Like, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
And because you know what? Your dad is absolutely a wise man because today at 34, like, when I'm faced with something hard, I go through the notions, but I know now
it's going to be okay. Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
I've been through worse. Yeah. Let me put my thinking cap on. Let me get through it. That's what he said. Like right now, I melt down. Anything happens, I'm done. My whole day is ruined. I'm in the room. I'm smoking a blunt. I can't. Like, I'm done.
I can't with you. You know, it's funny because that was me. I would like just slump in my bed, not move. But today is kind of like, all right, I mean, let me fix this. Let me pep talk myself. Let me medicate myself. I'm not medicating myself. It's either you smoke the blunt or me. I'm into edibles these days because it's easier to get during this pandemic. So I'm just going to have my little edible, my little glass of wine. And I'm just zen. I'm zen. I'm chill. I'm good. But you know what? It is different now. Like, especially when you're going through these little hiccups, whether it is like, quote unquote, your car breaks down or quote unquote, ah, shit, this shit just broke. My fridge broke. You know what I mean? Like, you just know how to get back up and you know how to keep it pushing. And I'm glad you said that because I did see, you did share, you were very transparent on how the pandemic has affected your music side of your career. And like, how much harder have these hits hit you though? Because this is something I knew you shared. You were so excited. If you want to explain a little further what that was like and what it is that you were looking forward to.
It's so crazy. I was supposed to perform at South by Southwest, which that's a humongous music festival in Austin, Texas. And I've been trying to perform at that festival for years. And so last year, I just went really hard with music, like going hard, making connections more so than anything. So when it came up this year, I was right in place. And, I just had the network and, like, they made it happen. So I was performing with a magazine called Grunge Cake Magazine. And I was so excited about it. And it's interesting because South by Southwest was the first thing to get canceled. South by Southwest was the first major thing that everybody was kind of like, well, this is kind of serious. Because even when it got canceled, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, we didn't even know how serious Corona was at the time. Thank God it did get canceled, right? But no, I was devastated. But what people don't know is the week after South by Southwest, I was supposed to fly to Atlanta to meet with this really cool independent record label. And that got canceled too. I'm more kind of hurt about that than South by Southwest. And like I had a video I was supposed to be shooting, which like would have taken a lot of people. So like that had to be canceled. The thing is, right, there's people suffering way worse than I am. So like I don't want to it sucks, but it could be way worse. You know what I'm saying? Like some music shit got canceled. That's not going anywhere. You know? And then I'm not, it's okay. I mean, it's disappointing. Right now, I just want to stay focused, stay creative. I know that everything happens for a reason. So just stay focused so that when things are back, I'm right where I need to be.
That's
you know?
Right. You still keeping the momentum. You still being your own hype man. And I love that. I am my own hype man. Let me rephrase that. Hype woman.
No, you have to. You have to. Yeah. Your brain is the most important part of your life.
Yeah, that's the muscle. That's the one that guides you every single day. If you wake up with that attitude, like, oh, that's it. You killed yourself. You killed your whole day. You're done. Your whole day is done.
I have to wake up and give gratitude. I try to wake up. Thank you so much, God, for giving me a place to live. Thank you for giving me food. Thank you for making me healthy. Thank you for keeping my family healthy. Like, if you just do that every day, it reminds you how blessed you really are, you know?
Yeah. It's funny. I remember the days, not at 24, 25, guys, because I was not so dumb then. But I remember being 17, 18 and thinking like my whole life was over if my book bag broke or even like my sneaker got a little dirty. I remember little things like that. And it's like, here we are 17 years later, right? And I'm looking at the way life is and I'm looking at all the real troubles. I remember wanting to grow up and be 35 and have my own place and have my own things and have my own money.
What?
I wish I was still
But it's 16, one of those things. 17. It's one of those things that once you are older, everybody says it, and when you're younger, you're not trying to hear it. And there's nothing I can say. There's nothing we could say because nobody wants to hear that shit when they're 17.
No,
you're like, yeah, okay. Well, I want to see for myself. That's exactly what you're thinking.
Everybody told me. My brother was like, "You sure? You sure you want that? Because you got to pay bills. You have to do." I was like, "Yeah, I'm tired of living here," which is why. Married at 19, I left, thinking I was grown woman shit.
Right.
And then it didn't work out how I thought it would. And I had to come up with a different plan. I had to think. I had to do some shit different. And, that is exactly why I didn't end up doing what I wanted to do. And that's part of the reason why I love seeing someone like you during your journey, because you are doing what you've set yourself out to do. And it's not that I'm not going to sit here and dog it out and say, oh, kids ruin everything. No, that's not what I'm saying.
No. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's just, sometimes you just got to change it up and you can't really pursue what you really, really want to.
And that's something my mom has stressed to me, like from a young age, was like, just about, but see the issue, and I don't want to say an issue because everybody has different circumstances, but she's put so much fear into my heart from having a baby that I don't ever know if I ever want a baby, which isn't good. Isn't good. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I'm afraid of marriage. I'm afraid of having kids.
Really?
Yes. Because my mom has raised me to believe that when these things happen, your life stops, your independence stops, everything stops. Yeah.
Okay.
But I know, she did it so that I wouldn't do it too young. And now that I'm older and now that it's time to start considering, where I want my life to be and what I want my life to look at, I don't know if I would necessarily want these things because I've never wanted them. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's so interesting. God, I love this. This is why I love this whole podcast thing. Like, because, I'm getting to know so much more about Imani, but most importantly, you're speaking to another part of my audience because I know I have people your age listening to my podcast.
Feel that way,
I do. And fear is fear, regardless of your age. And I completely understand you because even me as a person, I've recently taken a chance at, I do think I like this man. Let me see where it goes. But it's like, hold up a second. That doesn't mean I'm ready tomorrow to have a kid. I want one, but not again, not yet. Do I want to get married again? I already did that. That shit was scary. Do I want to do this shit again? Fear is fear. And I commend you so much for even being transparent on that and sharing that and saying this is how I was raised, but this is what it did. And it's so funny to see it from the other side because
And it's so interesting because that's what I always tell people. Either way, you're gonna suffer. If you have a baby young, you're gonna suffer. If you have a baby old, you're gonna suffer. If I have you know what I'm saying? Like, because I always wait. I'm gonna wait until I get my career to have a baby and blah, 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 and have this perfect mapped out life. For me to have a baby at 40, now I'm 80 years old trying to raise a teenage. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no right way to fucking do this shit, and that's what I'm learning.
No fucking book to it. No, there's no fucking book to it either.
There's no.
You know, I've heard so much.
Now you're young but you have like a teenage son. That's cool. Like, that's, even though I know it's hard. Don't get into it.
Imani.
I know that it's hard. I'm on the
verge sometimes of going to jail.
But you're gonna be young. You're gonna be able to see your grandkids. You're gonna, you know, like, there's a lot of cool stuff that come along with it. You're still young. Y'all have so much in common. I'm sure. Like.
Yeah, we do.
It's just different things, you know.
It's funny because he sometimes, like, he'll see me. He's like, "Ma, that's not how you do it," you know, because I'm not as cool as he is. But then there's times where it's like, you know, he's into music. He is into music. Right now, he is in a full-blown Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Tupac, and Biggie. Oh, yeah. No. And I'm going to tell you why it is. Marcus growing up, like, without his dad, you know, because we separated when he was so young, Marcus has leaned a lot into, Marcus is my son. I know y'all know this, but he's leaned a lot into my brothers. Not so much my youngest brother, who you would think he would because, you know, he's cooler in age, which my little brother is like only 4 years younger than me. It's actually to my older brother. My older brother just turned 43 yesterday. And, you know, my brother grew up in that era. That's the music my brother listened to. So the music my brother listens to, my brother can vibe to, my brother can sit there and rap all these lyrics to, he's paying attention. And he'll ask him, like, "Theo, where's that music from?" And my brother's like, "That's real. Let me show you music." So he's like in this whole vibe now. So when I listen to him and I'm repeating these lyrics, he's like, "Ma, you know this?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, yeah, I know this music. I know what it is." And for him, it's like, when I see him now listening to music of today, I actually get inspired as to what he listens to, because he likes to look for, he likes rap music, and he likes music that has substance. He likes music that could really speak to him. You know, he's not just one of these kids that just goes for the trends. No, he looks for music. Cool. And that's what I love, like, cool. That I'm able to look at him and I'm like, who is that rapping? How old is that person?
I love that music lasts forever. That's what I love.
It does.
Music lasts forever. A good song, it's not going nowhere.
I'm trying to introduce him to R&B because, you know, he's been listening to me listen to, like, Summer Walker, LMA, and he's just like, "Ma, you know, who's that?" And I'm like, you know, this is so-and-so, but let me show you this. So I feel like you said, music never dies. Music lives on forever. Everybody could always go back to those days and have their memories and share it together. But I feel like as we continue to grow older, you know, there are still good artists. There is still good music. Some of it is not.
Yeah, no, but it is, like, because that is, I'm glad you said that. A lot of people want to be like, this generation music sucks. That's not true. It's still young people putting out. Summer Walker is dope. You cannot tell me that girl doesn't write amazing songs and sing amazing songs. LMA writes like Tiana Taylor. Like these are names that I'm telling y'all that make amazing music. Like,
and that's my playlist. You just said exactly who's on my playlist. You just said exactly. Like,
I love Tiana Taylor. I think she's extremely underrated. She's incredible.
Isn't she? Oh my God, I feel the exact same way. Like,
I love Tiana.
She needs to be out there more, and I need everybody to believe in her. Because I do, absolutely. And I'm so glad, you know, I think this is a perfect segue into, you know, talking about this generation, to look at what beautiful stuff this generation can bring to us. But I do want to get right into one of my segments here, as raw as it gets. You already know, during this segment, we talk about shit that's in social media, the news, and sometimes controversies, you know, with today's culture. And so I want to talk about bad behavior. There is an H after each B for a reason.
What did you call her?
She's called Bad Baby, but I call this part of the segment Bad Behavior. We're going to talk about bad behavior.
I thought that's what you were calling her.
I'm calling her that. No, I am calling her that. She ain't no bad baby, and she's bad behavior with an H after each B. Yes. And I wanna talk about her because you had shared some thought about her on your social media.
Yeah, I'm very vocal about how I feel about her. Yeah,
and that's great because so am I. For one, you know, I want to be fair about something. I saw her very risque pictures. So Bad Baby she's 17 years old. For those who don't know, look up Dr. Phil, the Catch Me Outside. How about that girl? That's her. She is 17 years old. Her real name is Danielle. But she's on social media as Bad Baby, again with an H after the B, each B. And the reason why I wanted to talk about her is because, for one of the things I noticed with her is her development is going. She's 17. She's flourishing. She's very developed, and she's showing it off like a lot of our youth of today is doing on social media. And actually, one of my friends has shared this, and I completely agreed with her because it was disturbing to me. I had noticed in some of her risque pictures, you know, real old men are like liking it here. And
absolutely.
Like, get off her page.
Absolutely.
It was gross.
Anybody 18 and over should not be on her page. She's a fucking minor.
Like,
she's a fucking minor.
She's a child. She's still a child.
She's a kid. She's still a kid.
Yeah.
She's a kid. And I have friends that are my age. I don't give a fuck if you 25. She's a child, and that's fucking weird. Yeah, y'all be liking her shit and commenting and sharing. That's only one problem with her. But
that's one problem.
Start there. Right. She's 17 years old. And that's weird. Yeah, like her boobs be out and stuff. Like, y'all are... That's weird.
And that's my thing. Like, it's like you have to be just conscious of what you're doing, what you're liking, and what you're commenting on these pages, because these girls are young and they are underage. With that being said, about her being underage and being young and being a child, and in a way being slightly stupid, because some of us at a very young age can still be stupid and make stupid decisions. One of the things that's been really bothering me with her is, and this was in the shade room a long time ago, she did her hair in braids. And people were commenting about her choosing to do her hair like that. Now, I saw the commentary. I saw the debate. Some people felt like, oh, leave her alone. It's just a hairdo. She came back with comments about, you know, to the black women. Oh, well, y'all put, you know, wigs on, weave on. And she has some shit to say about that. And I was reading everything. Okay. The other day, she looked like a completely different person.
Absolutely.
She looked like a black woman.
Absolutely.
And I said, okay, see, this is exactly why the fuck people have something to say about her hair.
It's getting more intense. Like, she's starting to do some more intense things. But I just want to say, because I've had some thought about this, and
thank you.
I did some research, and I just want to say, her aim isn't to look black. Her aim is to look racially ambiguous or mixed. There are no societal benefits to being a black woman. But being mixed, racially ambiguous, Latina, or black adjacent is gold for the music industry. Looking black enough to partake in our things, but exotic enough to benefit from colorism. So does that make sense? So when everybody wants to say, oh, she's trying to be black. No, she really is not trying to be black, because there's no benefits from really being black. She wants to be as racially ambiguous. She doesn't want to look white. Right. Does that make sense? And let's be clear. I'm not going to say any names, but she's not the only person that's at that level doing this either.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. No, I'm going to say it because this is raw talk. And I'm going to say it because I felt some type of way about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I tune into Keeping Up with the Damn Kardashians to watch all their fucking drama, especially the most recent, WWE
of course,
fight.
All of us are tuned in. I'm tuned in.
Okay? I am.
Absolutely.
But when my beautiful, because I'd always thought she was beautiful, when Kylie Jenner did what the fuck she did to herself, okay? And when you see a lot of these photos she's taking, Kim getting darker, it's obvious. It's obvious. I'm sorry. I don't care.
They look
who
like
your mother
light-skinned
is.
black women. Yeah, they look half black. Yeah.
Thank you. No, let's call it what it is.
Ariana Grande.
I
don't know why. So that's kind of why I'm confused. Like, even though
it's the only one that thought that about Ariana.
Listen, it's super offensive what Bad Baby is doing, but there are other people doing the same stuff that don't get any smoke for it. So that kind of is confusing to me. The only difference is Bad Baby her remarks. She's so fucking stupid. Like, after you call her out on it, she gonna get on live talking about who wants to be a black woman. Like, you gonna say shit like that, or oh, black women, y'all wear y'all wear weaves and y'all get away with that. The problem is not the hairstyle. The problem is when we wear braids, we can't get jobs. Like, that's what she doesn't understand. When my skin is darker, if it's me against Bad Baby, they're gonna pick Bad Baby because I'm a brown skinned woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're winning from the things that we have, and you're taking it and you're getting money from my natural attributes that I can't get. That's the fucking problem.
Right. And I appreciate you educating it right now, because that's where everything was bothering me, because everything that triggered me was her comments. I know she's stupid. I know she's young.
Ridiculous. And if a black girl went on Dr. Phil and disrespected their mom the way that Bad Baby went on Dr. Phil, if a black woman ever did that in her life, Daisy, do you think she would get a record deal and signed?
There was a little bit of a lag. It's okay.
You good?
You could keep going here. Yeah, I think we're good.
I was saying, if a black woman went on Dr. Phil and disrespected their mom the way that Bad Baby went on Dr. Phil and disrespected her mom, there would not be no fucking record deals. There would not be no fucking makeup lines. It wouldn't be none of that. She would have been labeled a ghetto ass little girl. And what frustrates me, Bad Baby does not write her music, which I get. Some people are cool with that, whatever. But like, it's so many black women that are so fucking talented that are really killing the game, and she's winning over them. That's my problem. You know?
And that happens to be my problem too, because I feel like everybody else is being overlooked, because you're right. Had someone else done exactly what she's doing, you know, on Dr. Phil's stage.
Nope.
Oh my God,
let a black girl with some braids had gone on Dr. Phil acting like that. She would have been every type of ratchet, ghetto, everything. She would have not gotten all those opportunities.
And she just flies with them. I don't know how it is that this girl gets all the shit that she gets the way that she does.
The reason she does is because we're sitting here talking about it right now.
And you know what? That is true. That is true.
Like, those big companies, they don't give a fuck about black people. They don't give a fuck about none of that. They see the bottom line. So this crazy bitch is getting people to talk and getting people mad and leaving comments and getting us engagement. Let's fucking get it. And what can you say? If that's the world we live in.
You know, and it is the world we live in, but for me, it's like me as a woman, right? And me as a Latina woman, and even as a Latina woman, you know, I'm still looked at as a light-skinned Latina woman, right? But I do feel it's my duty with the generation of today, like starting with the 13-year-old in my house, to educate him on certain things. And when I show him things like that, because I will show him those things. I will tell him what's everything wrong with that.
Good for you, but good for you.
No, because I need him to know. I need him to know, like, never, you know, he watches TV with me. When Grey's Anatomy had the episode, I don't know if you're familiar with Grey's Anatomy. That's why I'm a surgeon now. That's why I'm a surgeon now. I work in healthcare, but Grey's taught me how to be a surgeon.
Oh my God.
Yes. And Dr. Bailey had to sit with her son and explain to her son about what it means to be a black young man, and, you know, with the police shooting, because that's actually what the episode was about. My son sat there and he was like, "Ma, that's serious. Like, it's serious." And we had actually witnessed something like that a long time ago here in our community. We saw cops chase down 3 young black men. And it was a moment that my son saw and witnessed, and he was just like, what the fuck? Like, he got scared. I got scared. And so instinctively we brought out our phones and started recording, right? But when he sees things like that, like, I need him to be aware. I need him to understand that just because he is not black doesn't mean he's not responsible to be aware of certain things. Being right or being wrong. I need him to understand that, because he is a member of society. And if you're not aware of it, and you cannot say, yeah, that's a fucking problem, then you're
part of the problem.
You're part of the problem. And you need to know that. He came and he saw what's her face? My girl Chandler, her documentary. Did you see that one?
No.
I'm gonna have to send you that information so you can see it. You know, there's so much that it brings out to light about what is going on, what went on then, and what continues to go on today.
So, and that's why. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's part of why. That's part of why it's so hurtful and distasteful, because a lot of people say she's 17, leave her alone. Matter. Why do y'all care? It feeds into what we have been going through for so long. White women taking our shit and eating off of it for so long. For so long, and it's just ugh.
And believe it or not, I strongly feel like even us as, and I'm going to say us, not that I'm trying to speak for all of the Latino community, but even us have to be aware of that, because then we get all surprised when we're in corporate America and that other person is getting a certain promotion and I'm not. Well, why is that happening?
Yeah. You know what's really interesting that I would like to have a conversation with you about? The people of color. People say people of color, like Latinos, Black people, Asian people. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be really transparent. I've had more racism from Latino and Hispanic people than I have from white people. And so, and you know, there's that big debate around the word nigga, and like Cardi B says it, so like should Hispanic people say, you know, like there's there's that big and I just feel like that is a conversation that has to be had between a Black woman and a Latino woman, because I do feel some type of way when Latino people say the word, because I've literally had situations where Latino women were making fun of me for my skin color. White women have never done that to me. This is when I was younger. Absolutely. Yeah. Really? That's just my experience. This is my personal experience.
This raw talk just got real raw, and I love that we are talking about it, and I love that we can have this conversation. Let me say to you, and this is what's so beautiful about life, because we can actually share the experience the other way around.
Okay.
Growing up, New York City public school, I had very long black straight hair to my waist,
and that's what we can't stand.
Okay, no, let's talk about it. And I remember who would pull my hair. It was the young Black girls,
right?
Mind you, I was friends with them.
Right.
We were friends. We were.
Right.
I can never tell you they did anything to me, but I would feel the pulls.
Right.
Or they would constantly be like, and the pulling.
Right.
And it's like, now I'm able to realize a lot of things. But when you're I'm able to talk to Imani, and Imani's able to share her experiences with me.
Absolutely.
It makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
It becomes a vicious cycle.
I was just about to say. That's
exactly what the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
And hurt people, right? So it's like, yeah, absolutely. That's so true.
It's like, now as an adult, I'm able to understand why, this fellow coworker of mine, or this friend of mine who happens to be a Black woman, why she feels the way she feels. Right. I could go all the way back and understand why hair is such a big component.
Hair is so big huge for Black women. It's so, because we've struggled, and I say struggled, still struggling. We struggle with our hair so much. And its hair is so huge. It's such a big deal. So when you make comments about people's hair, when you touch people's hair, it's very sensitive.
Yes. And now I get it. Imani, now I'm 34 years old, and now I get it. I understand. I could only imagine what my young little 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old Black girlfriends were seeing.
Went through
at home.
I remember this girl in middle school. I'll never forget it. This girl told me, she said, Black men don't like Black girls because y'all's hair isn't like, because y'all's hair, because of y'all's, she told me that straight up. And then the Black men would reinforce it. And they weren't men at the time. We were like 11. But they would reinforce that. So I'm growing up thinking that my natural hair is trash. Daisy, when I say trash, I wore wigs, braids, all of that. Like, not saying that every girl that wears wigs and braids don't like their natural hair, but like, that was me. I was so embarrassed of my natural hair. I wanted long hair so bad. Like, still want long hair, but you know, at some point you gotta get over it.
That's so interesting because, and you know what it is for me is like, you know, I never really gave it much thought about my hair. Only when it would get pulled.
Because it grew out. It's like me with a big butt. I always had a big old booty. Okay. So I never cared nothing about a big booty. Whatever you have, you don't care.
You don't think about it. But that's why I feel it is important to be aware of these things and teach our kids that from the beginning. Like, with the N-word, right? I understand you 100%. I'm gonna be real. I grew up in what you could call the hood, you know.
What part of New York?
South Bronx.
Got you. Yup.
Okay. So it was part.
So you same place as Cardi B.
Right.
So you can really
so
speak
she's
to that.
actually on the other side of like the bridge.
Okay.
She was like on the other side. But you could go up all of 174 and you end up where she was. I was all the way on 174 on this side. You know, and just going in and out of my building. Yes, I lived in a building with a goddamn elevator. You know, you would hear all the music, you would hear all the songs. And so for people to just be standing around, regardless of color, right? Regardless of what your skin tone is, saying the word nigga along with a song was just so common. Saying it amongst your people. And it still is, right?
Yeah.
My problem is when people use it the wrong way. My problem is when you will go there and say it against someone. It's a difference when you are having a conversation as opposed to when you're saying it against someone, to attack them, to insult them, to make them feel belittled and actually belittle them. My question to you is that what has happened to you? Because I understand the concept of just not liking when people say it.
Oh, that word has 100% used against me by a Latina woman.
Got it. Okay,
you see
that's
what
I wanted
saying?
to know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was used as a weapon by someone who was Latina. So that shit, like, it just never felt right to me, you know? So it's like, if you're going to use that as a weapon, you're going to use that as if you're a slave owner, then I don't appreciate you using that as if we're homies. Like, it's one or the other. You see what I'm saying? It gets confusing. Like, what's happening? And you say that, but if a white woman was singing a song and said the word nigga loud as hell, both of us would look at her like she was crazy. So it's levels. It's still levels to it, right?
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're making perfect sense with this. And it's like, for me too, it's like, listen, does that mean that the day of tomorrow, I'm going to go to a bar, if this ever opens and we're out of quarantine, and not sing along to a song and not say the word?
Right.
Probably not. I'm still going to keep doing that. But I have been, and I've made this a commitment to myself, and I'm going to tell you exactly when it happened that I've made it a commitment to myself to be very cautious about saying that word and where I say it. And it's not to be careful about it, like, oh, let me not say it here. No, I have black girlfriends, I have black friends, I date black men. If I say it in conversation. I'm not going to hide it from them because, oh my God, no. But there is a time and a place for everything. And let me tell you exactly when it was that I was like, no, you know what, I do have a responsibility to be cautious of this and try to make a change for some way, somehow. Black and Crew is a show that I've been watching since day one.
Yeah.
Okay. When it turned into a Black Ink, with Nine Mag, and Charmaine called out the tattoo artist who's Mexican, for saying the N-word constantly. The fact is, she was constantly saying it when she would want to fight the black girls. That is the fact. And it was at that moment when I saw that it really bothered me. Yeah. And I was like, no, she's doing it on purpose. Right. She's coming for the jugular. Right. And it pissed me off because, for one, you being a Latina and then you're Mexican. Mexicans have a whole history of being attacked for being Mexicans. Mexicans have a whole history. And so for you to not have that responsibility, knowing where you're choosing to go look for a job, knowing what community you're in, and then you're over here attacking these women because you feel like you have to fight every 2.5 seconds. Right. And you're constantly like, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. Right. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you being so irresponsible?
That's how it feels. That's how it feels. When the word is used, it always feels like a weapon. You know what I'm saying? And like that's the thing. It's like we want to be all cool. We want to listen to music together. But as soon as some drama happens, it's nigga this, nigga that, and it doesn't feel good hearing that out of their mouths. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, if I could have it my way, nobody would say it. Nobody ever would say it. But that's just not realistic. There is, but I hate to say it, it's a level to it. If I'm in the Bronx, like New York is so different too, because because Latinos,
where you are?
I live in Richmond, Virginia. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. We don't have a high Latino community population at all. Right.
Okay.
So in New York, it's extremely high. You grow up so close to black people. I get it. Like, so I do get that concept of it. And like I said, it's levels. If a song is on and a Latino person say nigga, it's not going to hurt me the way if a white person says it. It's just not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I also don't want to be contradicting, because if we're arguing, I don't want to hear that word come out your mouth. You see what so that's what the same thing you were saying. There's a time and place for it. It's like, right. You know, but then again, all black people aren't okay with it. You know, so like even, you say it in front of some black people and it's going to be a problem. So
even in casual conversation, it's not going to be okay with everybody. And that's one thing, again, like the conversation has to be had. You have to be transparent on it. If I am around, I know what friends I have. I know who feels comfortable with me saying that word or who doesn't. I know who engages with me with that word usage. And I know when it's a safe space or not. And I'm going to call it a safe space, because you need to know whose territory you're walking into. And by territory, I mean their mind, their spirit. Even
it's certain people I don't say nigga in front of, and I'm black.
Look at that.
It's just certain words are just not appropriate at certain times. It's the same thing as any word. That word, it's just, I don't have to tell you. It's just, it's touchy. It's extremely touchy. And it has the right to be touchy.
One of the things that, and I'm gonna call it because it is, I'm an Ecuadorian woman, right? So in my country, a derogatory term to indigenous people is not calling them indio. No, it's calling them a word that it's just like this. It's calling them longo or longa, and it's like you're indigenously trash. Kind of like that.
Oh, wow.
Okay? It's kind of like how Puerto Ricans were called spics. There's so many different derogatory terms that are used all over, right? And it's things that we are all responsible to be aware of. I hear my 13-year-old talking to his black friends on FaceTime. My son primarily has black friends, and my son has told me since day one he's going to marry a black woman. Okay, cool. No problem. That does not mean you get and I'm going to say it this way, that does not mean you get all these passes with certain things. You have to be aware, and you have to be conscious of what you're doing as you grow up. It's okay if you're the Puerto Rican Ecuadorian friend. That's okay.
Oh, absolutely. And
but
just like you said, just because you can say nigga in front of your friends, you might not want to go out in this world,
yes.
But that's so good that you are putting that in his brain so that he's aware.
Yes.
So that he's aware. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I need him to know that. And that's why I feel like when you say, a lot of people say, this generation's trash. Well, who's responsible for that?
Come on.
Who's responsible for that? I'm going to say it. He's 13. If in 4 years, he's one of these trash ass kids on the internet doing some fucked up thing, it's my fucking fault. I needed to slap his ass a long time ago and continue to educate him a certain way. This whole shit with, talk to your kids. That's nice. It's going to work up until a certain extent. Just don't use a fucking weapon. Slap him. I'm sorry. Bad baby, whatever the fuck her name is, whatever name she's going by.
She needs to get beat up. She needs to get beat up.
She needed to get slapped.
She needs to get beat up. Her. It don't have to be her mama, but she needs a beat down. But somebody
needs to do it.
Your mom is supposed to beat you up at home so that nobody beats you up in the world. You got it?
Yeah, got it. And that's why I'm saying, it's like I need a little better from society. I need a little better from society because there is a bigger picture, and it's not just about an N-word, and it's not just about hair. It's a bigger picture here. It's about respect.
It's a bigger picture, but I will say, as black people, though, we have to. I don't like the hypocrisy. Okay. Because I'm not going to sit there and get mad at you for saying nigga when Fat Joe and Cardi B says it whenever they want.
Okay.
Either we going to be cool with it or we not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the confusion lies. There's also that big debate where are they black? You know what I'm saying? Like, some people say the Dominican people are black. So that's a whole different, it's so much. Yeah. It is so freaking much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. No, it's a loaded sector. It is. But I'm glad that there is conversation about it. I'm glad that we as two women are able to have that conversation. Because no, I'm not one to dictate whether Fat Joe or Cardi or anybody else could say it. I'm not. But
who is? Who is? True. There's no rule book. True. There's no racism rule book. We don't know.
You're right.
Like, okay, y'all are okay to say it in songs, but don't say it if you know.
But don't say it here.
Right.
These are the places you don't say it. Right. And these are the places you do.
Right. And with white people, it's like, I don't even want to hear you even say bigger. Yeah. I don't even want to hear you say Tigger.
None of it. No, take it out of your vocabulary. No Tigger, no bigger. None of it. Right. You know, and it's crazy because when the bottom line is like, listen, I'm in corporate America for several years now, and it's like when you see certain things, when you experience certain things, when you have to take being empathetic to a whole other level. And to the communities that we serve in all these hospitals that I've worked in, you being in New York and seeing what a lot of our community members go through and experience on a daily, they could sometimes teach you a thing or two. And by you, I mean you people who are not black, like myself and plenty of others. Our black community can teach you a few things, and they can make you conscious of a few things, and you do need to check yourself. That's the part of the respect that I feel we have a responsibility to be aware about certain things.
About the privilege, right? And then because we all it's different types of privileges. It's different types of privileges. 100%.
Yep. I mean, you do have the white privilege. You do. But let's call it what it is. If you and I are in a room, there's a certain privilege I, as a light-skinned Latina, have over you.
100%.
According to some people. All the time. There's a certain privilege.
It's just a construct,
Let's just call it what it is. There's a certain privilege. I talk to a lot of people on the phone. They don't see me. And some of the comments I hear, and this is not just now, this is throughout my entire career. Some of the comments I hear, you know, I'm not going to say my entire last name. Imani has seen my last name. I'm not going to say my entire last name, but my entire last name, I've been told, oh, you must be French. What? Have you seen me? No. You bugging. Absolutely not. No, never. But why would you think that? Why would you automatically think because of my last name? That thing that they've told us our entire career lives, some people will look at your resume, look at your name and say, no. It's the same thing when some people will look at your name on a resume and say, oh, yeah, that name looks French. Let's take her.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's what happens. It's what happens. And it's a reality that we do face.
But my thing is that's a reality in America that I don't think will ever change. That's just the way it is. What I will say, though, is our communities, that's what we're supposed to be doing for each other. The same way that a white boy can have privilege in his white company, we're supposed to look out for our people the same way. So if you have a black girl coming in, give her a shot. You know what I'm saying? Give her a shot. You know, like we're supposed to be helping our people too. So, yeah, that's all I'll say. You know.
No, and I thank you for that, Imani. Imani really gave us that dose today, and I love it that we were able to have this talk. Because I don't think everybody feels the awareness enough to want to talk about it, or maybe even comfortable enough to talk about it. And that also is part of the problem. I feel everybody should feel comfortable enough to respect each other's opinions or respect each other's experiences, to say the least, because I cannot take away what your experience has been, and nobody can take away what my experience has been.
Exactly.
That's how we get to understand each other.
It's just good to be aware, because like, okay, we could have this conversation, right? And then you could say, okay, people will say, all right, well, I agree. Or not I agree, but I feel what you're saying, but I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. That's cool, but just be aware that everybody not going to be cool with that, and that this is a big fucking world, you know?
It's a Yes.
Yeah. So that's what's important. You know, is every conversation is not going to have an understanding. That's something we have to stop thinking, you know, oh, we got to come to an understanding. You don't always have to come to it. Sometimes somebody's going to get punched in the face, you know? I am so serious. You know, there's not always an understanding.
Oh my God. I'm so happy you said that, because the way we are teaching these kids. So we have 3 young Hispanic boys in my house, right?
Oh, wow.
And 2 are, obviously, my nephews are more darker than my son. My son is fairly, he looked like a white boy.
Okay.
Like he actually doesn't like it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
He feels like so left out from my nephews, because
I get
he's
it.
like, oh, they're tan. Like, they don't got a tan, ma. I got a tan to get color.
Right.
You know, he deals with that part. And the common sentence we say as they continue to develop is, you need to watch what you say. You need to be careful, because one day somebody's going to punch you in the mouth. Yep. And that's exactly how we say it to them, because it could someday happen if you're being irresponsible and saying certain dumb shit, you know, or the way you say things. You don't have to come off all aggressive. You don't have to do that. It's okay.
Especially
to just,
as young men.
You know, like that. Right. You know, let's just keep it real to what it is. Like, I'm a Hispanic woman. I've gone to bars, and it's sad that too often our communities feel like the way we got to size each other up is, you know, the blows. And it's like, why every fucking time? And then go to other communities where you have the younger crowds. They're not even going to blows. Now they're just taking out guns. And it's like,
I was just about to say, we talking about punching, but no, now everybody's so trigger happy. Yeah, that's
it's
like
weapons.
And this is no joke. It's no joke. I'm sure raising teenage boys, that is absolutely
I went to public school.
I can imagine.
I went to public school, and I made the decision from the moment he could go to school that when he enters kindergarten, I'm just going to put him in a Catholic school. And it wasn't so much of the religion piece. It was more so of a form of discipline and a form of, I just don't want to take any chances, because I feel like the system has changed so much here.
You want to give him
schools.
The best opportunity possible.
Yeah.
That's what any parent wants to do.
I just felt like this is, like, he's close. The school's right here. I could keep an eye on him, or whoever's here could keep an eye on him, because I know what it is to go to public school, and I know what it was then. Then they would go to blows. They would fight. Today, they're taking out guns. And
it's different.
I can't have that. Like, I don't want to take that chance or that risk. So his upbringing is very different from what I saw. And he doesn't understand, he doesn't comprehend when he sees on the news, you know, a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old was shot by another. Like, he doesn't get that. He doesn't understand that. Like, it's hard for him to comprehend. But the truth is, it's happening now. And so I needed to figure out a way to shelter that. For me, in a perfect world, like you said, just nobody will be saying it. For me, in a perfect world, we would all just be smart enough to understand, to have the value and the skill to be understanding. Because I feel like when you can understand another person, I don't need to say, oh, I know exactly what you went through, because that doesn't mean I know exactly what you went through. But if I could just understand
the problem is that because slavery, it just wasn't that long ago. And I mean, it's, you know, we still taking so many L's from still being black. I think that's where it's like, bro, I don't feel like understanding nobody else's point of view, because I'm still suffering from being black. And I use the term suffer lightly, because I'm blessed, but I'm talking for my people that are still like missing out on opportunities or can't get a job, or you know what I'm saying? It's just so deep. It's so deep. So I'm definitely appreciative of the conversation. I hope there's more conversations. Yeah. Like you said.
I hope so too. I do. I mean, I definitely, you know, when I started this, you know, and it's gonna segue into a little bit of a rant for my double or nothing rant, my little segment. But for me, part of the raw talk, you know, there's just so much I feel like we need to keep raw on and be very upfront about, and have that type of talk, and not be too, how do I say this, too lenient on it. I don't want to be lenient on things. I want to be able to address things. And it doesn't have to have ever happened to me. You know, it doesn't have to have ever happened to the other person.
Absolutely.
We should have a platform to be able to talk about these things. And one more thing that go ahead, Imani.
I was just about to say, and just because something doesn't affect you doesn't mean it doesn't affect somebody else. So like, you know, and that's definitely, you just have to stand up for people who don't have a voice for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and we do.
That's how I feel.
We have a platform where we could put it out there. Yeah.
So true. Yeah.
And speaking of, things that we could talk about, not be leaning on, one of the things, I very much so loved about your purpose to your podcast, Lick the Rapper, was one of your main lines was to destigmatize sex amongst young Black women. And I wanted to hear a little bit more as to why was that one of the pieces you wanted to include with your show. I wanted to hear from you on that, because I feel like it's something that I, at your age, divorced. After going through celibacy for 2 years, it's like, oh wait, you're going out, you're staying out, well, what the fuck, whoa, wait a minute, and what are you doing? Like, I'm not supposed to, like, put on pants, don't, where are you going, you're a mother. But even then, it's like, you specifically said young Black women, and for me, I want to know more about that. I want to know if you've had experiences, or what have you 100%. Known when it comes to that. Yeah, 100%.
I was raised in a house where my mom was the breadwinner. She worked. She owned a company. She owned a hair salon. My dad was pretty much at home with us. So it was me, my brothers, and my dad. I was the only girl. So I grew up just feeling the difference between how boys were raised and how girls were raised. We 16. Wow. I'm seeing my brother get condoms when he turns 16. I'm seeing the sex jokes. Seeing my, naked pictures in my brother's phone, and everybody laughs. And he's, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I'm seeing this, but I'm 16, and it's, if you have sex, you a hoe. Wow. Which is so stupid, because I'm having these same sexual desires that my brother is. It don't matter if you're a boy or a girl. And the reason it was young Black women is because I can't speak for no other race, I know this is what we go through, just that way of, like, if you are a girl and you have sex, that's how I was raised. There wasn't a conversation, there wasn't anything, and that's just not smart, in my opinion, to raise young girls that way, because young girls are horny. Call it what you want. Call it, everybody's horny. Guys are, we're human beings. Right. So if you don't give a young girl real answers and real conversations about what their body is going through and what sex looks like, they're going to go figure it the fuck out for themselves.
Oof.
And then as soon as they get pregnant, now they're a hoe. Now it's just so unfair. Well, you don't you know how many of my friends started their period and nobody even fucking told them what was going on with their bodies? Or like, come on, really?
I'm telling you guys, when I tell you it's a whole vibe, and it's like intuition just tells you, like, you're going to vibe with this person. I so love that you put that shit out there, because it's definitely something that I shared on my previous episode. And it's something that I have thought about over and over again. If I wanted to put it out there very transparently, very raw on my platform, because I do have family in my culture. Obviously, we're Ecuadorian, South American, who will listen to this. And maybe somebody's gonna think, oh, let's tell her mama. No, forget it. I already came out and told my mother. But it's because no one had a very thorough conversation with me. It's because I listened to my friends who were doing it already. Yep. It's because you're a young lady, you're not supposed to talk about it. So we
can't even talk about it. I mean, there was so much shame. There was so much shame just talking about it. Mom, how do you, so I don't want to, God willing, if I ever have a child, or like, just what I want to say to young girls, you don't have anything to be ashamed of. Right. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You are perfect. Yeah. Your body is perfect. Your vagina is perfect. It's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is what you got to do to take care of yourself. Because I feel like if we taught girls about masturbation the same way we allow men to do it, we allow boys to jack off at 9 a.m. and it's all good. So if we had these conversations with girls and taught them how to take care of yourself, this is what that looks like, then maybe they wouldn't have to go out and get it from a boy.
Thank you.
I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it just
you're right, because nowadays when I'm tired of these men and I go through like, oh, I'm no longer fucking with this dude no more. I don't need to jump into something else. So let me bring out my toys. Yeah, let me set myself up for myself, and I'm gonna take care of me, because you need to have that discipline within yourself and know how to love you.
I didn't start masturbating until I was 22 years old.
Wow,
3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago. Ben had sex, obviously, way before that. But I feel like girls should masturbate before they have sex. The same way, because if you don't even know what you want, how is a man gonna know what you want? God, if you don't know your body, how is a man gonna know these conversations do not happen with young girls, and they need to start.
Ever. And I need them to start, correct.
They need to start.
It's something that I actually said, first of all, let me be very, very, very raw right now. If I haven't already in the other episodes, or you're just tuning in now for the first time, I decided to have my first experience when I was 13. And it was with my boyfriend at the time. What did we know? We didn't know shit. He didn't ask me. I asked him. And yes,
Daisy was ready.
That's the thing. Like, I didn't know anything from home.
I was like that too. I was into it. Absolutely. Yeah. I wanted to figure this shit out.
It was just like, oh, everybody's talking about this shit. Well, I want to know what it's like.
I was like that too.
He picked me up after school, and I had a conversation like, listen, do you know what this is? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, have you done it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you want to? And it was just like, okay, but are you sure? And it was kind of like a conversation like that. It wasn't like he never asked me for it, never pressured me. To the point.
That's another thing. People, I don't know why people act like girls don't want to do it. We want to do it.
But that's what I'm saying. Is to your point that if we were to stop acting like a young girl is not supposed to discover herself, and you were to have those conversations with her,
right?
So she knows you don't have to go lay down with a young boy around your age to experience this. You can experience you by yourself. Get to know you first. That's
and
where
any real woman knows an orgasm that you give yourself is some of the best orgasms you'll ever have.
Absolutely. And it's because you get to discover you.
You know.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm just tired of all the shame. We shame around periods. Hey, listen, we bleed once a month. There's no fucking shame in that. Every woman, why do we have to hide? And I guess for me, it was so prominent because I lived with men. So it was so obvious to me the difference, I was by myself. I had nobody to relate to. So I'm super passionate about destigmatizing sex right now. I think it's better for sexual health. I think it's better for your sex life once you do start having sex. I just think it's better.
I love it. No, and I love that you included that as part of, one of the things you definitely want to make so comfortable to talk about in your show. And this is why besides the fact that I just tuned into your episodes, like it's definitely a piece that I love that you put out there.
Thank you.
I wish, years ago I had more of that. I don't regret none of my experiences.
Me too. Like I wish that I was in high school. If I was a 15-year-old girl, I wish there was somebody I could have listened to that was talking about it. A girl that maybe you could listen to my podcast and you'll get some real tea.
And learn a little bit. Like you have questions, contact me. Like I don't know it all, but I could speak on my experiences.
It's so many misconceptions too about sex. Things that we thought. When you're younger, guys think that they just want to be pounded out, and then you get older, and it's like, no, I don't really want to be pounded out.
That's not what it is. No.
So it's just things like that. And everybody loves talking about sex.
Well, everybody does love talking about sex.
Everybody loves
to talk about how free it is. And listen, there's this whole thing about, I had tuned into your episode with Claire from Relationships. I loved it. And when you said about, the whole zodiac stuff. And it's so funny. I'm a Scorpio, right? And so they always look at Scorpios as like the freaks. Never mind being a freak and never mind being freaky. I need you to be open-minded. Just be open-minded. Don't look at something that somebody else is doing and be like, oh, no, me never. Like, just open your mind.
Yeah, a lot of people are so, especially, come on, we too grown. We are grown.
Jesus. Like, just talk about it. It is what it is. It's what's happening. If you like to do it, cool. If you don't like to do it, cool.
But sometimes you don't even know what you like until you try it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't knock it till you try. That's always my thing in life with anything. With a homework, with a project, with a work, anything. Don't knock it till you try. That's how I raise my kid. Don't knock it till you try it. Right. For me, and now at 34, going to be 35, I figured out certain things that I would very much so prefer in a partner. And I definitely need the open-mindedness. I've explored certain things in these last years. Actually with someone who I was seeing. And I appreciate those experiences that I've had, because I did realize I do like to go see certain shows. I like to go to, swinger clubs. I like to go be in the vibe. I like to do these things. I didn't know if I did before. I have been curious. And then I did it. And then it was like, nah, I like this vibe. I could see myself coming back. And in realizing that, I realized I'm going to need somebody, a partner who's going to stick around, who's going to be that open-minded, who's going to be that open, who's not going to be judgmental, who's going to be like, all right, my baby wants to do this, we're going to do it. Even if it's once or twice. Like we could still do that, There's certain things like that I realized, but I realized that now at 34, I know how to fucking masturbate. I discover myself. I know how to do this shit. I know what my body likes and doesn't like. I don't need the other person to figure it out. Because I'm going to tell you.
Have you been to a sex club yet? Or like a swingers club or anything?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
See, okay. So, all right. So I've had the same boyfriend for 5 years, right? Okay. So I met him when I was 20.
Okay.
Love him. He's my best friend. We are so tight. He's super open-minded. But these are just new things that I've discovered through horrible decisions. Sex clubs, swingers clubs, heathen, like sex resorts and stuff. So that's something that I'm introducing to him.
Okay.
To see if like he would be interested in going.
How does he feel about the
He thinks it's funny. It's funny. He's like, oh, you're a freak. Like he doesn't take anything serious, So I'm going to see when it's really time and there's a date set and I'm like, babe, like, let's go. Like, then we'll see. Right now it's just, he just thinks it's funny.
So let me tell you, I'll be a little bit more transparent on this shit. One of the things that I love is you have such a friendship with him. And that's what should be so beautiful and comfortable to talk about it. Yeah. I don't think I would have ever done that with any one of like my past partners. I'm glad I went and experienced that with the person that I did, because that person I actually still consider a friend. That person I have considered a friend, and my comfort in having that conversation with that person is just that, is comfort. And I knew there was going to be no judgment, not from me to him, not from him to me. So it was a perfect person to go with. And I think that's the piece that is important. Like, you're in a relationship with your boyfriend. You've been together for so long. And on top of that, like you said, that's your best friend. So there's a certain level of comfort right there that it would be beautiful for you, the both of you, to experience.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? There's a certain level of trust. Right?
Oh, yes.
Like, I trust him. Like, trust.
Yes.
I feel like, especially in a relationship, I wouldn't introduce stuff like that if there's not trust in your relationship, but we'll see.
So that was definitely another huge thing, like why I chose to go with that person, and I chose to have that conversation, and he felt comfortable with me because we trust each other. And again, that goes back to why we're still, able to be cool, is because of that piece. And I say go for it. I say it's an interesting experience.
Is it fun?
To just see. It was fun. I had a good time.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to go. I want to go just once. Because it might be one of them things where I'm like, okay, that was not for me, but I don't know.
But you won't know. You won't know until you try. You won't know until you go. There's so many other things like you can do, like even just sexuality. It doesn't just stick to just sex. Sexuality sticks to everything, like how you expressing yourself, and by expressing it, I mean like without even words, without even, it's just like. I'm someone who loves to go see burlesque shows. That was something I was able to do with that person too. It's something I discovered that I like to go do once in a blue too. So those are little things that I know now. Be a lifetime partner, or even the next person, or whatever the case may be. I know I'm going to feel comfortable to say, I like to do these things. I like to go see these things. These things are entertaining. These things make me feel sexually empowered. Let's go. And I know I'm going to be able to do it, but I just need that other person to be as open-minded as I am. That's all it is. That's what it is. It's about open-minded. Fuck being a freak. The freakness should stay in your sheets between two people, and that's it. It's about being open-minded.
But there's levels to it too, right? Because some women want to get gangbanged and they want their husband to film it.
But again,
so it's
but again,
I'm saying, like, what's the level to? Because Because his level might be, okay, we can go, but I don't want you to do anything with anybody.
So that's what you have to talk about too, and that's something that we had to talk about before we went. It was like, I don't think I'm going to feel comfortable watching you with someone else. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to feel comfortable either. But we could go. And if we feel like doing something there, that's fine. Or we just go to just watch, that's fine.
So it's that communication.
It's the communication piece. Right. And like, you have to be able to trust each other. You have to also be able to know each other's looks. Like, I knew at one point there, like, I've known that person for so long. I knew his look, and I knew like I know his whole vibe. So I knew when it was time to go. You know what I mean?
You was without getting it in, Daisy.
I sure was. I'm not even gonna lie. I sure was.
So we gotta have this conversation on my podcast.
I would absolutely share. So let me just say, I don't incriminate anyone. I never say names because there's always about consent.
Neither. Unless it's Bad Baby.
Then that's the one I'm gonna give you her first name too. Like I said, her first name is Danielle. But I would absolutely share the whole experience on your pod for sure, because it is about destigmatizing sex, and I love that Imani is doing that for us on her platform. I love that you've agreed to come to my show. I love that you've come on this platform to talk about certain things that I feel are important. Y'all, to be quite honest with you, I love to be very organized and have an agenda, and there's certain things on this conversation that I didn't even have listed, and I'm so grateful that we did dive into it the way we did. Imani,
well, Bad Baby, she brings out the best in us,
girl. And you saw how far the conversation went. It just went on this
because that's how deep it is. That's how deep it is. When you start talking about colorism and blackfishing, it's deeper than just. And then on the surface, it gets so deep, you know? So,
and there's always more to it. I believe it. There absolutely is. I want to thank you, formerly Imani, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Do you want to tell the audience one more time where they could find you? I'm going to include everything in the show description, but please let them know.
My Instagram is Imani Blair, IMANI BLAIR. My podcast is Lick the Rapper Pod on Instagram. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, I go into a lot of music business talk. My major is audio engineering and music business, so I'm obsessed with everything music. And we talk about sex, and it's lit.
Yes. She talks about lots of lit shit. So that's why I tune in. I love it. It's part of my, it's part of that dose that I need sometimes for true entertainment and true inspiration, because she knows how to bring it to you. So thank you all so much. You have tuned in to another week of Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I am your host, Miss D, and we will see you next week. Bye.
All right. Bye.